All right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our RBT practice questions series, where we're going through another set of questions together and breaking them down. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Please like and subscribe. Check out btexamreview.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. When you pass your exam, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. An employee learned the new method for organizing digital files at their accounting firm. After consistently using it at work, they naturally apply the same organizational strategy to sort personal files and emails at home without any additional instruction. Which concept is best illustrated by the employee using the same file management approach at their home? Okay, straightforward question here. It's a little wordy, but we're going to take our time and just attack the question. First, the question is asking about the concept, and the concept that is illustrated by the employee using the same file management approach at their home. So they learn a file management system at their work, at the accounting firm, and they use it consistently at work. And then once they've used it consistently, they then go home and use it without additional instruction. So when we take a behavior or a skill that we've learned, and then we apply that skill to a different setting without additional instruction, what do we call that? A maintenance. Maintenance is a form of generalization. So we want to be very precise here because, yes, you could argue the skill has maintained. If they're able to use it at home, then it's likely maintaining. But we know that there was no additional instruction to use it at the house. And maintenance typically comes along with some sort of instruction or teaching. So while maintenance would be an okay answer, B is a better answer because it is the thing that describes best what's occurring, that the employee is able to generalize this file management approach to their own home without further instruction. Stimulus discrimination is not occurring here. That's when we have multiple stimuli like A, B, and C, and you're able to tell the difference between those. You can identify A, B, and C when asked. You're discriminating between stimuli. And the response cost is a punishment procedure where we are removing a reinforcer contingent on behavior. No punishment procedures happening here, no removals happening here. The concept best illustrated and the best answer for the employee using the file management approach at home is B, generalization. You, a behavior technician, attend a brief supervision session with your supervising behavior analyst to review your current cases. The analyst asks you to show two behavior graphs to the parents of one of your clients, then demonstrates to you how to present the graphs until you are competent and comfortable. What should you do in this situation? So you're putting yourself in the situation where you've had a supervision session with your behavior analyst, and they ask you to show graphs to the parents of one of your clients. So let's stop there, right? As the RBT, you want to work within your scope and within your competence. So you're going to be assisting with assessments, assisting with parent training, and other jobs like that. Can you do those things independently? Well, it depends. If you're given permission and you're trained and competent, then there are situations where, yes, you can conduct some sort of parent training and conduct certain assessments. In this case, the analyst has demonstrated to you how to present the graphs, and you're competent, and most importantly, you're comfortable. So you're competent, you're comfortable, you've been trained, and you've been asked to show these graphs. What should you do as the technician in this situation? A, present the graphs as shown to the parents of the client. Yes, there is nothing wrong here. One, you've been told/asked to do it. Two, you've been trained. Three, you're competent. And four, you're comfortable. So there's really no roadblocks to you showing the graphs. A looks good. Always read all of your answer choices. B, decline to share the graphs with the parents because you're not the supervising analyst. Now, this is true in a lot of cases. You wouldn't just show these and explain them without permission and training, but you've been given permission and training, so there's no issue. C, report the analyst to the board for an ethical violation. The analyst has done nothing wrong. You're comfortable doing this. They've trained you to do this, so go ahead and do it. D, present the graphs and then make any changes that the parents request to the treatment plan. Here we have to be careful. Yes, you can present the graphs, but stop there. Going further and making changes to the treatment plan, again, without training or permission, now you're out of your scope and you're doing things that are not within your role. So, yes, present the graphs, but don't take it any further than that. So again, what's important here is you've been given permission, you've been trained, you're competent, and you're comfortable. What should you do? Present the graphs as shown to the parents of the client. A behavior technician is assigned to measure how often a client independently initiates a social greeting within a community skills program. The technician marks down each greeting over a 2-hour period to see if there's an increase or decrease in greeting behavior. Which measurement procedure is the technician most likely using to record greetings? All right, we have a straightforward measurement question. We're trying to identify the measurement used to record greetings. When we're thinking about measurement, we want to think about a couple things. One, are we measuring an amount or a number or a count, or are we measuring a duration of time, a length of time? And two, are we continuously measuring or do we have intervals? In this case, this technician is measuring how often the client initiates a social greeting. So how often is going to indicate some sort of number or count. Second, the technician is marking down every single greeting over 2 hours. So we're not breaking this into intervals. We're not having any samples. We're doing every single behavior in a certain time period. So one, we can consider this continuous measurement. And two, it looks like some sort of count. So if we look at A, event recording, another way to think about event recording is a frequency. And a frequency is just a count. If the technician is counting how often a client initiates a social greeting, then they are taking event recording. They're just looking how many times do greetings occur. Each time a greeting occurs, they're going to give a tally mark or whatever their counting method is. Duration is a length of time, remember? So we're going from 0 seconds to, let's say, 5 minutes. That's some sort of length of time of the response. The technician is not measuring how long the greeting lasts, just if it happens and when it happens, or if it doesn't happen, then no response is marked. And then C and D, they're both interval recordings. We're not taking intervals. We're looking throughout the entire 2-hour period and recording every single time the greeting occurs. With both whole and partial interval recording, we would break that 2-hour period into smaller intervals and take a sample of that time. We're not doing that. What the technician is taking is some sort of count or frequency or event recording for how often the greetings occur. A restaurant manager needs an employee to clean a large storage area, a task the employee often avoids. Before making the request to clean the entire storage area, the manager asks the employee to perform 2 simple tasks they usually comply with. After the employee completes those tasks successfully, the manager then asks them to tackle the storage area. What procedure is the manager using? Pretty straightforward question. If you're fluent, let's think about it. It's a procedure question. We know the manager wants the employee to clean the large storage area. So let's say the square is what we want to accomplish with the rectangle. Before making the request, because the employee doesn't want to do this, they ask the employee to perform simpler tasks. Let's say those are our circles. So they do the circle, they do the second circle, and then we present the low probability task of the large storage area. So when we present 2 or more simple requests, in order to then follow up with the more difficult request, what procedure are we using? A, extinction. Of course, extinction is just withholding reinforcement for a previously reinforced behavior. There's no indication of extinction, and that is not what the procedure in the question is referring to regardless. We're talking about presenting the tasks and then the storage area. B, negative reinforcement. We're not looking at how the manager is going to reinforce this behavior, just how they're going to get to the behavior. C, high probability request sequence. Yes, this is the high probability request. And these, I should say, this is the low probability request. And these are our high probability request, right? So we do high probability, follow it up with the low probability. That is our high P request sequence. And then a behavior chain interruption, that's a strategy where you're interrupting a behavior chain during task chaining, and we're doing it systematically. Not occurring here. We're not using task chaining. Simply the restaurant manager is giving high probability request followed by the low P request in order to evoke that low probability behavior. When preparing for session, which of the following steps is most essential for the behavior technician to be successful? Let's end on a pretty straightforward one, right? In our task list, we need to prepare for session. And when we're talking about preparing for session, there are things we need to do. This question wants to know which of the steps here is most essential for a technician to be successful when preparing for session. A, arriving at the session without a plan to allow for spontaneity and client input. Spontaneity and client input can be good. Not having a plan is always bad. A is not a good answer. We should always have some sort of plan. B, quickly reviewing the plan as soon as the session begins, or as the session begins. We need to review before. When that session starts, we need to be ready to go. We don't wait for session to begin to get prepared. C, preparing the setting and materials beforehand. Yes, before session starts, we need our setting and materials ready to go. So when we start, we can utilize our time most efficiently. D, relying on memory of previous sessions and notes when implementing the behavior plan. No matter how good you are, no matter how good your memory is, no matter how long you've worked with the client, going by memory all the time is not necessarily the best strategy. You still want to review what's happened in your last sessions, but you also want to periodically look at the behavior plan and the treatment plan to make sure, one, you remember everything correctly, and two, verify nothing has changed. So if we want to be most successful, the best step is going to be preparing the setting and materials beforehand. Thanks for watching. Check out btexamreview.com for all of our study materials. When you pass your exam, please let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. See you soon.